Welcome to another Luck Scout bedtime story. Once upon a time, in a quiet village that lay at the foot of misty mountains, there was a tale of a forgotten garden. The elders spoke of it only in whispers, for it was said to be a place of great beauty, hidden away, known to only a few. The garden was said to hold the kind of peace that could calm even the most restless heart, where time seemed to slow and the troubles of the world melted away. For many years, the story of the forgotten garden had been just that, a story, one that villagers passed down through generations. But there was one young woman named Alina who believed it was more than a myth. Alina had always been drawn to quiet places, to moments of stillness where she could feel the world slow down and hear her own heart. And the thought of this hidden garden filled her with a longing she couldn't quite explain. One autumn evening, as the first stars began to twinkle in the cool sky, Alina set out to find the garden. She didn't know where it was or how far she would have to travel, but something deep inside her told her that the garden existed and that it was calling her. With a lantern in hand and a quiet resolve in her heart, Alina followed the old stone path that led out of the village. The path wound through fields and meadows, through thickets of trees that whispered softly in the night breeze. The deeper she walked into the fading light, the more peaceful everything became, as though the very air around her was encouraging her to keep going. As Alina continued along the path, she noticed something strange. The air around her seemed to grow softer, the shadows lighter and the stars above brighter, as if the world itself was welcoming her into a place where time slowed down. Her lantern, too, seemed to glow more brightly than before, casting a warm golden light that made her feel safe and calm. After walking for what felt like hours, Alina came upon a narrow, overgrown trail that veered off the main path. The trail was barely visible, hidden by vines and fallen leaves, but something about it felt right. She hesitated only for a moment before stepping off the path and onto the hidden trail, her lantern lighting the way. The further she walked, the quieter the world became. The sounds of the village and the forest faded, leaving only the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle sound of her footsteps on the ground. Alina felt a sense of anticipation growing within her, as if she were drawing closer to something she had been seeking for a long time. And then, just ahead, she saw it. The entrance to the forgotten garden. The entrance to the garden was framed by ancient stone pillars overgrown with ivy and moss. Beyond the pillars, the garden stretched out in all directions, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. Alina stood at the threshold for a moment, taking in the sight before her. The garden was everything the legends had said it would be, a place of quiet beauty untouched by time. She stepped into the garden and the air around her seemed to hum with a gentle energy. The flowers, even in the cool night air, bloomed with vibrant colours, and the trees swayed softly as if they too were at peace. A small, clear stream wound its way through the garden, its waters shimmering in the moonlight like silver threads. Alina felt her breath catch in her throat. This was the place she had been searching for, the place that held the kind of peace she had always longed for, but had never quite found. Here, In the heart of the forgotten garden, the world felt still and calm, as though time itself had slowed to a gentle rhythm. She found a small stone bench beneath an old willow tree and sat down, her lantern glowing softly beside her. For the first time in what felt like forever, Alina felt truly at peace. The weight of the world, the worries that had followed her from the village, seemed to disappear in the quiet beauty of the garden. As Alina sat in the garden, her thoughts began to drift, carried by the soft rustling of the trees and the gentle flow of the stream. She thought about the journey that had brought her here, about the long path she had walked to find this place. And she realized something important. The peace she had found in the garden wasn't just in the flowers or the trees or the quiet night. It was something she had carried within her all along. The lantern she had brought with her had guided her through the dark, but now she understood that the real light came from within her heart. The garden had helped her see that peace was not something you had to search for outside yourself. It was something you could find in moments of stillness, in the quiet spaces within. With this realization, Alina felt a warmth spread through her, like the soft glow of her lantern, steady and calm. The forgotten garden had shown her that no matter where life took her, she could always return to this place of peace, because it was a part of her, always within reach. As the night deepened and the stars shimmered brightly overhead, Alina knew it was time to return home, but she no longer felt the same sense of urgency, the same restless search for peace that had driven her before. She had found what she was looking for, not just in the garden, but within herself. With her lantern in hand, Alina made her way back down the hidden trail, her heart lighter and her mind clearer than it had been in a long time. The garden had given her more than just a place of rest. It had shown her that peace was something she could carry with her, no matter where she went. As she stepped back onto the main path, Alina glanced back at the garden, now hidden once more behind the ancient stone pillars. She smiled, knowing that the garden would always be there, waiting for her if she ever needed to return. But for now she carried its light within her, a quiet reminder of the peace she had found. As you lie in your bed tonight, dear Luck Scouter, imagine yourself walking through the forgotten garden, feeling the soft glow of the lantern and the peace that surrounds you. Let the story of Alina's journey remind you that peace is always within reach, even in the quiet spaces of your heart. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let go of all your worries. The promise of calm and the light of peace are with you, guiding you to a night of restful and pleasant dreams, and a tomorrow filled with tranquility and hope. Good night.